Attention is no longer earned, it's stolen, and the thieves have gotten very, very good. The era of the 30-second interruption is dying, and what's rising in its place looks nothing like what your media buyer pitched you in 2022. Here's what's actually happening. People aren't watching less content, they're watching differently, consuming in vertical windows, thumb first, in elevators, in lines, in bathrooms. Yes, bathrooms, and the brands that understand this are quietly lapping everyone else. The catalyst isn't just TikTok or Reels. It's a fundamental rewiring of how human brains now assign emotional weight to storytelling. Think of traditional advertising like a stranger tapping you on the shoulder at a dinner party to sell you insurance. Technically present, deeply unwelcome. But episodic branded content is more like becoming a recurring character in someone's favorite show. Suddenly, you're not selling, your time's belonging. The numbers are staggering and honestly a little humbling for anyone still defending the pre-roll ad. Brands running serialized mobile content report recall rates nearly 3 times higher than traditional video formats, and that gap is only widening as attention spans continue their Olympic-level compression. Remember when everyone was certain that long-form YouTube content was the final destination? That optimism aged about as well as a crypto influencer's 2022 predictions. The momentum stalled not because audiences lost interest in story, but because the delivery format stopped meeting people where they actually were. Psychologically, what's happening is fascinating viewers form parasocial bonds with recurring characters the same way they do with sitcom casts. And the second a brand taps into that continuity loop, skepticism softens. Even the most jaded marketing professionals, and trust me, they are a deeply jaded group, have had to admit that emotional continuity outperforms campaign-based thinking every single time the data comes in. History gives us the roadmap here, because serialized storytelling isn't new Dickens published in weekly installments. Soap operas built 40-year brand loyalties on cliffhangers, and radio dramas had audiences rearranging their entire evenings around 15-minute episodes. What's changed is simply the screen size and the scroll speed, not the fundamental human hunger for what happens next. Each wave of media technology produces this identical panic that story is dead, followed by the quiet realization that story just migrated from theater to radio, radio to television, television to streaming, and now streaming to the 6-inch rectangle in your pocket. The brands treating this migration as a threat are the same ones who thought websites were optional in 1998. Here's the cycle explained simply. Attention commodifies, audiences fragment, new formats emerge to meet fragmented behavior, early adopters win disproportionately, and then the mainstream catches up just as the early adopters are already moving again. The community of creators and strategists already building episodic brand worlds are essentially playing chess, while most marketing departments are still arguing about checkers. The biggest misconception worth dismantling right now is that short form means shallow vertical drama series and mini episodes aren't dumbed down content. They're times precision engineered, times content built with stronger hooks per minute than most feature films manage per act. You don't need a massive budget to build a compelling story world. You need a clear character, a consistent tension, and the discipline to leave your audience wanting the next episode rather than exhausting them with one. The practical lesson history keeps repeating is this: enter the format early, commit to consistency over virality, and prioritize emotional resonance over production polish. The brands winning on episodic mobile content right now aren't the ones with the biggest crews. They're the ones showing up every week with a character you actually care about. Moderate your risk by testing small series before full rollouts, track retention by episode rather than views, and treat your content calendar like a publishing schedule, not an ad flight. Discipline and content strategy means resisting the urge to make every episode a sales pitch. The moment you break the story world to hawk something, the spell breaks and you're the shoulder tapper at the dinner party again. Position size matters here too. Don't pour your entire brand budget into one viral swing when a steady series of 8 bite-sized episodes will compound attention the way interest compounds in an index fund. At the end of the day, the brands that endure aren't the loudest. They're the most times consistent times. And consistency in episodic content means honoring the implicit contract you make with an audience when episode 1 ends on a hook. Whether your series takes off immediately or builds slowly over months, the process of showing up, iterating, and deepening the story world is itself the competitive advantage that most brands are too impatient to develop. There's actually something deeply freeing about accepting that you don't control whether a series goes viral. You only control the quality of the hook, the clarity of the character, and the rhythm of your releases. Rational preparation looks like building a content infrastructure that can sustain a series regardless of any single episode's performance, because the compound effect of episodic loyalty is where the real return on attention lives. And if you're ready to put strategy into action, whether that means investing in real estate, tackling contracting projects to build out your production space, or finding the right lenders to fuel your next move, check out our links in the description below.